here today in AGC Instruments with Richard and Eoin. We're here to talk about digitalisation and the transition from manual machining to CNC machining. So I have a few questions here for the guys, so I'm just going to work my way through them. So Eoin, like you've changed from manual machines to CNC machines. How does the overall production workflow compare to manual machining now with your CNC machine?
So for our big batch parts, it's improved our production time. So these are parts that we used to make on our manual machine, but we buy them in as raw parts. Yeah. And then we turn down the backside to a specific diameter, and then we press them into plates. But it used to take me about a day and a half to get that quantity, and now I make them in 2 hours.
Okay. And it's a lot more accurate as well, doing them on the CNC machine and repeat
it repeats every time, same time, and like I don't change anything. I touch off the tool and she's good to go.
Guys, what was the biggest challenge you faced during the transition to CNC control from manual machining?
Owen's background came from running the machines, so his programming skill set was low, and now moving into this side, his biggest problem was learning the code, the intricacies.
I suppose to find the IDEAM Industry Cluster Manager, and I was out here not too long ago when you were thinking about going down the road of CNC machining. How do you think the IDEAM Cluster helped you on that transition from manual to CNC machining?
So for me, it was gaining access to the night course that was going on in the US. It gave me a baseline of programming to start with, and set up as well on CNC machines.
You were doing that course with Kieran O'Loughlin in the Precision Engineering Department. Okay. And Richard?
I think from my perspective, looking for a CNC machine is something that's outside of our comfort zone. Obviously Owen has a background in one particular make, but what IDEAM did was to broaden our base so we could actually see other options, and we could also look at whether it should be turning, should be milling. It gave us a broader outlook before we made a decision.
You've seen improvements in accuracy, for example, of your parts since you've invested in the CNC machine versus the manual machine?
I've seen a big difference in accuracy on the machine, especially holding tolerance. Like on our old machine, we used to have to check every single part all the time. Now we set the machine up and I can run 15, 20, 30 parts and come back to the machine, and it's exactly the same way as I left it.
And that must be kind of peace of mind for yourself as well, that you can trust the machine, you can adjust your tool wear offsets as well, and you can reliably have good parts batch to batch. What additional supported technologies you feel would help you get more value from the CNC machine today?
So for me, it'd be getting more broadening our tooling, whether it be through an animals or actual additional light tooling units. And something that we're looking at getting quite soon is a bar gripper to give us another layer of automation.
Before you had the CNC machine, would you have contracted work out of here to external tool shops?
Yeah. So this is one of the parts that we had external companies making. We used to buy them in like this, but now we make them in-house. And then I press fit that white insulator in. So now not only am I getting the part that we'd normally get off a subcontractor, but we're actually getting a finished product out of the CNC machine. The other part that stands out to me as well is an FID. We call it the FID Mountain. So again, we started on the manual lathe. We have to drill out the center, turn it, chamfer both sides using custom jig, and then we had to move over to the manual mill using dowels on these 2 holes to mark the 92 opposite holes, and then we had to move over to the manual filler drills and drill and tap them over there.
Perfect. And again, a lot of setups for, I suppose, what I see is a fairly straightforward, simple job, but that can be done in the CNC a lot more efficiently.
Absolutely.
What types of parts have benefited most from having a CNC machine in AGC Instruments today?
So the main one that stands out to me is it's called the FID heater block. So when we were making these manually, it was 9 operations, 4 stations. So we started on the manual lathe. We'd turn the OD, chamfer it, drill 13 mil hole straight through, 4 out to 25 mil hole, and then we'd move over to the manual mill, where we'd have to plunge mill the two 16 mil holes on the outside, and then we'd have to mark the 3 holes on the outside for drilling and tapping over on the pillar station. Now with CNC, it's gone from almost a one-shot stop. We drill, bore, mark, helical mill, saving on our tool life, and part off on the CNC machine.
Perfect. So a lot of setups from a manual perspective, but when you go to CNC, reduce all the setups. Your tools are already preset on the machine, and you're in a very, very good position to repeat that job time and time again.
Yeah.
So, this is your manual machine at the moment, and I'm going to make an assumption that since you bought the CNC machine, that the work going through this machine is greatly reduced.
So it's definitely quieting down a lot. It's not to say that we don't use it at all anymore. It still is used.
Yeah.
But if you remember from the parts a while ago, them small parts, I would have been here for a day and a half turning down parts.
Yeah.
But now the CNC has taken over, so it's quietened but still in use.
I can imagine as well this manual milling machine, the work going through this machine would have been reduced as well. I suppose primarily because what you used to mill here for some of your products has now been done on the CNC machine. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, so for us, definitely anything that was circular that needed milling doesn't come over here at all anymore. Unfortunately, the square stock still needs to go up here, but the work production on here has quietened down a lot, but it's not as drastic as our manual lathe.